Hey everyone, it's Subrote, and today we are talking about the heroic cycle in Star Trek Lower Decks Season 2, Episode 10, First Contact. Alright, let's look at the heroic cycle and compare it to the beats of Boimler's story in the finale. When I say Act 1, I mean of the heroic cycle, not the episode. And Tendi has her own arc, but for these specific beats, she's pretty much always acting as a team with Rutherford, so I'll call them Tendiford. Many thanks to blog.readz.com for this wonderful visual aid. And let's get into it. Act 1, The Ordinary World. The Lower Decks crew are in their cargo bay doing normal stuff. Tendiford is working on something, Boimler is following his dreams in an unskillful and immature way. Like a kid fighting imaginary monsters with a stick instead of sacrificing his playtime by reading on swordplay and strength training, Boimler thinks a superficial banner will gain him the recognition he wants instead of sacrificing his playtime to cover shifts and be the kind of asset a good officer is to his crew. Call to adventure, the unknown. Tendiford has a strange invisible problem from outside the normal daylight world and needs to go take care of it themselves. They ask Boimler to go to Cetacean Ops for them. No one has ever seen Cetacean Ops, it is very unknown to us. Doing so would be giving up Boimler's well-known daylight world and childish pursuits to instead sacrifice and face the unknown. Which leads us to the refusal of the call. Boimler doesn't want to leave the life of a child. Instead of going into the unknown, to us, he wants to keep living his old immature life, symbolized in the banner. He literally runs away at the end of the scene, and that's the last we see of him except for some exposition on the bridge. Meeting the mentor. Tendiford turns out to have secret knowledge, while doing seemingly impossible things like breaking into the captain's yacht and enjoying unexplained delights aloof to the problems of the mere mortals. And yes, that is the same kind of ice cream that the Doc's hypospray got turned into when the season premiered, just to add a little bit more magic. So Tendiford then uses their secret power and knowledge and tells everyone how to save the day and how to cross the thresholds. To do something that doesn't just seem impossible, but that no one has ever even considered doing. In other words, we're crossing the threshold to leave the well-known daylight world behind us for the dark, fearful unknown of the underworld. Remember that Rutherford knows the secrets of reincarnation from Shax, and Tendi knows about Ascension and the koala nature of the universe from the Ascension guy. They already possess forbidden knowledge, so this works perfectly. Act 2, Crossing the First Threshold. Everyone dons their spacesuits and enters the hostile world of hard vacuum. You can only survive out here with special equipment, powers, and knowledge that even then, it's kinda iffy. We're shown that we've entered the upside down by the crew being on the outside of the hull instead of the inside. And it's no mistake that this shot starts on the underside of the ship and then swings up to the top of the saucer. It's a shot we've never really gotten. It's unknown and unusual knowledge. It's part of the world of unseen. Normal rules do not apply here. We see things that we've never even imagined before, and we gain even more secret knowledge that's normally invisible to the daylight world. Tests allies and enemies. The hull needs to be removed in a short amount of time. The hero versus nature, or time. The entire crew needs to work together to do it. The hero needs allies. The damaged hull plate, made into an outside context problem by Billups cursing it as dragon's blood, becomes the enemy by first trying to kill the Bajoran woman, and then by threatening the whole ship and the mission. 7. Innermost Cave. Cetacean Ops. Cetacean Ops is my favorite thing that's ever happened. It's an inverse of the Warp Core's bright blue-white source of life and energy raising up to the heavens. It's a dark pit of certain death leading down into a red haze. The juxtaposition is fantastic. The doors to engineering open vertically, those of Cetacean Ops open horizontally. Engineering is blue, which is safe. Cetacean Ops is red, which is dangerous. Engineering we know like the back of our hands. It's basically been the same since like 1987. Cetacean Ops we've never seen before. It's outside of our world of knowledge and seemingly was never meant for us to know. Goddamn Sternbach. I kid, I've met the man. He's an absolute delight. There's chaos in rocks and dead fish, like untamable nature flaunting our lack of power to overcome it, and of course the presence of death. The action in engineering is away from the light in service to it, but not devotion. Most people are looking away from the warp core, in fact. The focus of cetacean ops, however, is the pool at the Wait, no, not the center. It's way at the end. See, it's so much the focus of the room that I thought of it as the center of the room. 8. The ordeal. Boimler swims down and squeezes through the tubes and manages to release the pop tab with every last ounce of strength and power he has. 9. Reward. The panel breaks free, the enemy is defeated, and the ship is saved. I mean, kinda. Act 3. Part 10. The road back. Boimler tries to swim back, but his suit was ruptured when he finally got the pop tab open. The power granted him by the mentor was just enough to win, but is now spent. He drowns, having died to his injuries. Part 11, The Resurrection. He's brought back by the mentor. Tendyford bring him back from drowning. And we get to stage 12, Return with the Elixir. Boimler knows this secret knowledge that no mortal should. He saw the koala. Part 13, The hero returns, but they are changed. Boimler changes the banner to First Contact Day, celebrating a real achievement and not just his childish dreams. Jen even calls him Brad, the first time he's been called Brad since, I think, Cupid's Air and Arrow, but that power wasn't his, it was borrowed from the parasite. Jen even tells us outright that Boimler was a real hero today. Capital H, a literal hero who went through the journey and has come back changed. And now he is no longer Boimler. He is Brad. He must be. Boimler drowned.